copyright strikes from YouTube, but how's everybody doing? Hey, Sarah, it's Maisha T. Hill. I am the curator of the Heal Your Way Forward Collective. I am settled on Southern Paiute land, which is home of the Las Vegas tribe and the Mawapa Band tribe of Southern Paiutes, also known as Las Vegas, Nevada. Really, really grateful to be in community with each and every one of you. I'm grateful for all your support. I'm grateful for the ways that you all show up in the collective for yourselves and for each other. I'm grateful that I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. That's all I can say. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Danny. Who's on Instagram? Let's see. Nobody. That's okay. We're still going live. Thank you, Sarah and Danny, for being here. Hi, Kylie. Thanks for being here today. If you're wondering why I am dressed to impress, I have been making content and I'm going to be making content with a variety of looks. Unfortunately, my content doesn't move unless I have a certain look. And so this is going to be a test of seeing what happens when I am shifting my look every other day or every day. So we have to just kind of, do what we can until, we figure out how to show up on these platforms. Now, the one thing I want to say about these platforms is that, a lot of people are like, you got to get on decentralized apps. Hey, Emily, thanks for being here. Yeah, I do need to get on decentralized apps. Hey, Ginger, thanks for being here. We do need to get on decentralized apps. That's very important. And also, we don't want to leave behind people that still use the common apps because of disabilities. And some people stay on Facebook, they stay on Instagram, they stay on TikTok because that's all they know and all they can build communities. And we can't shame them into not using decentralized technology. We have to make space for those who are still unable to decentralize their use with that technology. I think we've moved a little too far in the liberation work to start creating rules that people must follow in order to be in liberation. I've sent Mitzi a message. Mitzi, if you want to join me, hit that link and get in the Google Chrome browser. Hey, Mike, thanks for being here. So you're going to see a lot more of play and liberation when it comes to my work. You're going to see Barbie. You're going to see different looks. You're going to have different conversations because we all have to play with the algorithm. And this is just fun. And just join in. I think there's so much going on in the work and we all take it so seriously, so literal that we don't make space for joy on the journey and we don't make space for our own humanity or the humanity of others. So I'm going to do a quick sneak peek of direct compassionate communication. And then for those of you who want to join us today, Mitzi, Jen, and myself, we will be doing this practice live. So you'll get the whole scope of what direct compassionate communication is and why the practice is critical, especially in the times where we're all overwhelmed, we're all disjointed, we're all disconnected, and we don't know what to do. Direct compassionate communication is a beautiful practice to help us move forward. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, as you see again, I changed my looks to trick the algorithm. And Mitzi has joined me. So before I'm going to bring Mitzi in, I just want to give you all, if you're not on YouTube or Facebook, Substack family, I'm sorry you can't see the slides. I still don't know how to share slides on here with y'all. I mean, it feels like there's a way, but I need to figure out how to get Substack in the same service that I'm using. So I'm going to bring, hey, Mitzi, how you doing today?
Great. I got to hear a bit of what you said, and already I'm like, you said the words play. I'm already loving this playful look that you've got going on.
Thank you.
Yes.
This look is giving, I don't know. I'm calling it, I don't know if I should call myself Reba or Dolly, but I'm definitely going to be at practice like this today.
Yes.
We're trying to hack the algorithm and we're trying to do liberation work a little bit different. So thank you for being here with me today.
Yeah, thank you, Maisha. Those words always land with me where what does it actually mean to be liberated and also be doing the work and having tough conversations, but also being like, I'm unwilling to let go of my play.
Oh, that's good. Tell us more about, what do you mean? Oh, Substack friends, I hope you can hear Mitzi. I'll turn my volume up. Mitzi is saying, What about your play? Say that again.
I'm unwilling to let go of my play in the name of liberation. Because I realized I had been playing that game of liberation means I got to get serious about it. I got to suffer a little bit. Like these are the stories I was telling myself. Like if
Mm-hmm.
I really am honest with myself, I'm like, I was saying those
Yeah,
when if I'm going to embody actual liberation for myself, and it's going to be playful
absolutely.
because that's the end result.
I mean, the end result of liberation, right? I said yesterday, we talked about the Black liberation, Mitzi. Thank you, Sarah. I'm glad you can hear Mitzi. Um, we were, I was talking about, Black liberation was resistance. And I think we got caught, white bodies got caught in resistance because it's not just resistance, it's joy, it's art, it's creativity. The Black liberation movement for me, when I think about it, it was Black folks' way of saying we take care of our own. We don't have to depend on a system. We don't have to depend on the government. We can do this together and uplift our own communities. And I think that's part of that Black liberation funk, Afrofuturism movement is kind of the embodiment, of the work that I love to do and working, with the ancestors. That's, I think, what we're being invited to is how do we really do this work from a sense of joy and pleasure and play. Shout out to Adrienne Marie Brown and pleasure activism. I think we've forgotten pleasure activism in the work. I think you're right. We've taken it so serious. We're not playing anymore. One of the things that I, love about you, Mitzi, is your reminder of moving our bodies to imagine something different, to play, to invite play into liberatory spaces and liberatory movement. Because we do take, like, that's what oppression does. Oppression has us taking things so seriously all the time. Like, it's like, oh, we got to go protest. Oh, somebody was murdered. We got to, what would happen if you showed up to a protest like this? Listen, what would happen if we just showed up in play? Yes, it's cosplay, but like, it's fun for me because I'm not taking myself so seriously as a liberation teacher, and I'm bringing joy in the work. And I think that's what's missing is we're like, oh no, all this stuff is happening. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And then we go down these spirals. But if we bring play and joy into it, if we bring our bodies fully into it as a somatic practice, we get a different experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love this too because I think the biggest thing, I don't want to speak for other people, but I know that what I had this challenge with was if I'm about everyone's liberation, I want to come at this in a serious way. Like I want to be serious because there's serious matters. Um, and that I'm really looking at what that definition is. Because when I think about it, like and I know people have heard this example before, but for example, like say somebody is you see somebody drowning, and people that have done first aid CPR trainings, the number one thing that they tell you is you do not go and jump into the water with those people and potentially drown yourself in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we do as people who are about to protect somebody's life. We stand on firm ground.
Mm-hmm.
We make sure that we're safe and stable.
Mm-hmm.
So we go, okay, am I stable? Am I safe? Do I have the strength right now to pull this person out because they need support?
So here's what I just love what you just did. First, you just used the water reference. I love when we do that because shout out to the crew who told us to flow like water. You use the water reference, but you used it so beautifully in liberation. You see someone drowning, you don't just jump out. You don't just jump in and go save them, right? You scan yourself in the environment. And that is the perfect example, I think, Mitzi, of what's happened in liberation work is we're all jumping in the water because somebody's drowning or because someone says something that we don't agree with. So we jump in because we need to interrupt them because that's racist. First of all, race is a social construct. Second of all, that idea that we always have to jump in does not leave space for us to check in with our capacity, our humanity, and really do this work not from saviorism, but really do it from groundedness and rootedness in our bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hear a lot of to the confusion again for myself where I heard from a lot of people that I admired and cared about that were doing the work of, "Oh, jump in now." And then they were also surrounded by chaos, and I was tempted to jump in that, and I'm realizing now we're all drowning. Now everybody's drowning to get what is
That's it.
nobody here is grounded. We're all
Everybody, that's how you can describe 2025. In 2020, we all jumped in the water. It's 2025 and everybody's drowning. Everybody's like, I don't know what to do. I'm froze. I'm stuck. Because I don't think we embodied 2020. We performed what this work is. And now the deeper invitation is, okay, I think DCC is a great catalyst to throw out, like, what's those little savior, those little tube things when someone's drowning, you throw out a life.
Oh, the lifesavers?
The lifesavers. I think
like a
just
life
using
boat,
your
yeah.
references today, it's really a good time to throw out lifesavers to people and say, okay, let's bring it back in. Let's bring it back in. I think the invitation right now is to reel ourselves back in so we can connect to our bodies. So when we do see someone drowning, so when we see the system falling apart, we can let go of trying to save the system that's falling apart. Like, wow.
Yeah.
We can let go of trying to save what's falling apart and really be like, you know what? Like Black liberation taught me, we don't have time to wait for these people because they have shown, specifically Black people, we already know what this is about. Like, and we've been trying to say, hey, we've been trying to say, come on, like, don't do that. Like, we've spent so much time focusing on systemic oppression that we haven't done the work in our individual journey and our relationships. So we jump in the water, I think, Mitzi, because it allows us to look away from our own work, and it allows us to stay in conflict with people without moving into repair. And as I always say, oftentimes I see people infighting and arguing, and I go straight to like, wow, what's that childhood wound? Wow, what's that inner teenager wound? That's why we're reacting to each other, because we're reacting from the wound. And that's why some of that wound is to jump in the water and save others without making space for ourselves.
Oh, yeah. I feel like we're definitely gonna go into more of that, the playfulness, and that's what it is too for me. It's like setting a scenario where, okay, maybe I can't really comprehend this specific thing that seems very overwhelming. So I'm not going to jump into that right away. And that's what we're doing in direct compassionate communication. We're not jumping into the scale of 1 to 10, a 10 conversation. We're going to practice here at number 1. So we start to see, oh, this feels grounded. This feels good. I feel in alignment. I'm checking in with myself. Okay, now I can go into a conversation at number 3. Okay,
Yep.
this feels good too. I'm steady. I'm still steady. Number 5, and so forth till we get to number 10. And we're like, I've practiced this so often in this other scenario that by the time I got to number 10, a 10 situation, I already knew who I am, what I stand for. Like you said, I'm not reactionary like that. I'm coming at it from a very calm energy. And even if it's an intense conversation, it can be an intense conversation and still be like, I have the resiliency and the strength right now because I worked that muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's what direct compassion communication invites us to. And Mitzi, I'm just going to share 2 slides, and I'll do the first one, and maybe you can do the second one.
Okay.
Because that is what direct compassionate communication is. Everyone keeps asking us, what is direct compassionate communication? Well, first of all, it's direct. It invites us to be brave enough and straightforward enough to name what's real, to say things with clarity and integrity, and to receive someone else's truth without defensiveness. Let me just keep it real with you. I still get defensive when someone tells me what they think or how they feel. And I'll be like, oh, dang, I got to do a lot of work to not do that. The second thing is that it's compassionate. It's rooted in care, empathy, and respect for yourself, for humanity, and for each other. It's communication. It is strengthening our resilience through real life practice and dialogue that helps us move towards from tension to transformation. And it's relational and reparative. It transmutes conflict and encourages openness, curiosity, care, and repair. And it allows all of us to take ownership of our part in the story. That is exactly what we do and what we practice in direct compassionate communication. And oftentimes you can't get there until you slow down and connect with yourself. And those are the 3 choices that we
Mhm.
tell folk to take with direct, compassionate communication. Mitzi, can you tell us about those 3 choices?
Oh, yes. And I want to point out before I start speaking on the 3 choices, how you embodied exactly what you were talking about, which was the direct part where you said, "Hey, and I still have this challenge with, how my defensiveness." That right there is the direct part. Like, I want to be real. I want to show you my humanity. I'm not perfect. I'm still working through this stuff, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to be real about it so you know what we're working with. And that's part of that realness for me, like you're saying it right now. But in terms of the 3 choices, that self connection, and I know that we've been talking about those different words, but the self empathy, or how we're speaking about it with self connection, which is really what you did, meeting yourself where you're at. So, how you just did that, like, hey, I still struggle with defensiveness. For me, it's I still have a challenge with naming specific types of support, and that's okay. I can go to someone and say, hey, I'm really going to need some support in naming the support that I need. Like, that is one of my biggest things, and so I'm going to ask for that, but I'm doing that by connecting with myself first and being real with myself. um and checking in, like, did I drink enough water? Did I feed myself before I start having a conversation with somebody else, because I didn't feed myself. I know that when I don't feed myself and I'm hungry, my mind's going to be elsewhere. So a conversation that might be simple might all of a sudden annoy me because I didn't connect with my very basic needs. um Expressing, so the other choice could be expressing myself. So again, you can choose to, hey, I feel grounded, I feel good enough, I'm going to be real, I'm going to be real about this. Look, Maisha, I'm struggling with finding ways, specific ways to receive support. Me sharing that again with you is starting to do that connection by expressing myself to you. And then, of course, the practicing empathy, and we'll dive deeper into that in DCC sessions where you can actually get a bigger practice with just that self empathy, that practicing empathy. And that's being able to say, hey, you know what? I have the capacity right now to able to hear somebody else because I checked in with myself. So I'm able to now hear what you got to say. um, I already checked in. Like, maybe I'm going to be defensive about this, but I'll check in. I'll keep and listen to them, realizing, okay, Mitzi, don't get defensive right now. Or if you see that you're getting defensive, do that self empathy and that self connection again. So these 3 choices, they play with each other, they interact with each other. Sometimes we're doing them simultaneously, but we like to point out that they are 3 different choices.
Thank you, Mitzi. One of the things as you were talking that stood up is I love how you kept saying you have to come back to yourself. You have to talk to yourself. You have to connect with yourself. And I love that you kept saying that, because I think that happened to me yesterday in the group chat where I had posted something and someone made a request. And once I got to the end of like why I felt like so activated, I was like, oh, I haven't eaten anything and I'm thirsty. So disregard, anything, because that's the more you can self-connect with yourself and like connect to what you got going on and how it's making you, like, the more you do that practice of self-connection, of slowing down, you can hold empathy and presence for another person. You can express yourself with your own empathy. And social media makes it hard to do that, right? Because these are all echo chambers. We're all yelling at each other, fighting with each other, and it's not worth it.
That echo chamber is so real.
Yeah. So if you are looking for something to do at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today, you can join Mitzi, myself, and Jen for direct, compassionate communication. It starts at 4 o'clock. Collective members, it's part of your membership. Your practice sessions will begin in October, where there's me 1 week, Mitzi another week, Jen another week, where we practice once a week in the collective, picking times that they change every month. But do know that it is back in your membership, and it does start again in August. We took the summer off. And then you can always book one-on-one DCC with myself, with Mitzi, with Jen. We'd love to help you show up as your full self. October, we'll talk a lot more about direct compassionate communication. Maybe we'll record some practice so you can see it in real time. But it's definitely time. Hey, how you doing, Bobby? It's definitely time to put this into play, because the reason I think right now, Mitzi, people are struggling is that they're not able to connect to themselves, but we can look at the mirror of other people and blame them because we don't want to look at ourselves. So, yeah. I want to thank y'all for being here. Enjoy the cosplay for the next however long I choose.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitzi, thank you for being here. I know we should probably rest. We got something in an hour.
Yeah, thank you, Maisha.
You're welcome. Thank you, friends, for watching on Instagram. Thank you all for tapping in on Facebook, YouTube, and Substack family. And we'll see you next time.